Good evening, guys. Daniel back here again from Single Malt Jack, and welcome back to another episode. I have been sitting here this afternoon just enjoying this Oban 14-year-old bottle of whiskey. And what do I think of it? Well, look, I'm not going to lie to you, it's absolutely an amazing whiskey. In summary, it's basically one of those whiskies that I always try and order when I'm out at a bar somewhere, because I know I'm never going to be disappointed. So stay tuned and I'm going to give you a bit more insight into this whiskey. So the Oban 14, what can I say about it? Well, I can say quite a lot about it actually. It's a whiskey from the West Highlands. Okay, it's been aged in oak barrels for, I think it's ex-American oak barrels for 14 years. It's been bottled at 43%, which I think is, nowadays I think it's pretty common for a lot of these whiskies now to be bottled at 43%. I'm seeing sort of that number pop up a lot more, especially when you get to the higher end of the whiskey range. So what did I pay for this bottle? I picked this one up from Dan Murphy's here locally, and typically you'd probably pay somewhere between $120 to $130 Australian, something like that. I managed to find this bottle on special, and at the counter they gave me an extra sort of special deal, and I think I picked it up for about $108. So I was really happy with that price. So I've always said on these videos, as soon as you start paying over $100 AUD for a bottle of whiskey, you really start expecting a little bit more from that whiskey. It's not your standard $40, $50, $60, $75, $80 bottle of whiskey where you sort of, you're not expecting too much. But at this sort of price point, you're expecting a really nice whiskey. You're expecting something complex. You're expecting something that's sat in the barrel for at least 12 to 15 years. And at 14 years, I think that's really nice in terms of the age that sat in the barrel. It's picked up quite a lot of those oaky flavours. What else can I tell you about the whiskey? Well, I don't think it needs any water. I don't think it needs any ice. I've tried a bit of water, a couple of drops of water. I've tried a little bit of ice. Doesn't do a whole lot for it. It's typically a whiskey that I like to have on my bar for a special occasion. When I go out and I like to have a nice whiskey, and people say to me, especially you're out at a whiskey bar or anywhere, and they say, okay, well, what can we finish on tonight? Like, what's a really nice whiskey that we can have tonight, we can finish on tonight? Typically you'll have the Oban 14 sitting there on the bar. So I like to say, well, let's jump on the Oban, last round, and let's really just enjoy the rest of the night. Just a nice sipping whiskey to finish. You guys can't see, but I'm looking outside there, middle of winter here. It's been raining all day. We had a little bit of sunshine. The clouds are just coming through again now, and it really is a miserable day out there. But I'm sitting here at the bar, and as I said, I'm really enjoying this Oban 14. So I thought I'd pull out the camera and just do a quick review on it. So here we go. Here goes nothing. I've also posted this on my Instagram, but as you can see here, this bottle's more than halfway done. So I thought I'd better get in quick before I finish this bottle and do a quick review on this Oban 14. So, definitely on the nose, what hits me straight away is a crate of fresh red apples from an orchard, or orchard, however you say it. It just hits me like the sweetness of the whiskey, that sort of orchard type flavors and the fruits, not so much pear, but definitely apple. And it's not that fresh green apple, it's kind of like that really ripe, sweet, fresh red apple that you can buy. That hits me straight away. Definitely a little bit of peat and a bit of smokiness, but you know, not even half a serve of peat in there. You know, there's not a whole lot. It's just enough to say, you know, hey, I'm a Scotch whiskey, I'm a Highland whiskey. You know, I've got a little bit of peat in there. I've got a little bit of smokiness, but you know, it's definitely not overpowering and not overwhelming either. Look, on the palate, it's absolutely delicious. It is just a delicious, well-balanced whiskey. It's a perfect sort of mouthfeel. You know, you can't even really tell that it's at 43% because it's just so smooth. You know, it barely tastes like you're even, you know, drinking any alcohol. There's no zing or anything like that on your tongue, just a tiny little bit. But once again, it is quite complex. It takes you through a very different range of flavors. There's the sweetness to it. There's a little bit of pepper spiciness to it. There's a little bit of citrus zest to it. You know, you've definitely got that tiny bit of smokiness, tiny bit of peat coming through. And once again, I mean, definitely on the finish, it's just, you know, a nice sort of lingering flavor. You know, very, very nice mouthfeel in there. Just trying to think what other flavors I'm picking up from this whiskey. Definitely on the finish, you've got a little bit of oakiness, not overwhelming. You know, it gets sort of reeled back in with, you know, with a bit of smokiness and a bit of peatiness. But yes, it lets you know I've been sitting in an oak barrel for 14 years. And then on the finish, you know, once again, you get a bit of a hit of that sort of citrusy zestiness. You know, yes, you've got that sort of toffee type flavour, a bit of maltiness in there as you'd expect from a Scotch whiskey. But look, would I recommend this whiskey? Most definitely, very, very highly. It is at a price point, as I was saying before, that you know, they could break the budget a little bit. You know, you're sort of paying over $100, paying somewhere between $105 and $130, depending where you pick it up from. But boy, is this such a great whiskey to have sitting on your bar, you know, for those special occasions, or you know, a rainy Sunday afternoon, just to sit here and enjoy it. And you know, I've been sitting on a couple of these this afternoon, and it's, you know, it's really, really been a great experience. So look, in summary, guys, pick a bottle up. I really do recommend it. Couldn't recommend it highly enough. You know, for a West Highlands whiskey, 14 years old, this Oban, or even if you don't pick a bottle, find it at the bar somewhere. It is quite popular. You'll see it all around the place. I mean, not many people look for it, but you know, as I said, it is definitely a go-to whiskey. So give it a go. Let me know what you think of this whiskey in the comments. You know, if you like the video, subscribe, and we'll catch up with you guys shortly. Cheers.